Hey, this is John Young. We're going to look at the Popoman. This is a drain cleaning out tool based on their 20-volt system, a battery-powered unit. And I was thinking, we did a video where we showed how this went through and how flexible it was through a line. But I wanted to do the toilet version to show you that, because this is really where it comes in, especially if you have children. This is where a tool like this comes in. It'll work in showers, where you can take the drain cover off and go down if you have a hair that has plugged take the tub things out and such. And we'll get into that in a different video, because you need to have specific tools to do it and do it right. And it's not really that difficult tools, but you just need to have things. But the toilet area, this plugs up, and sometimes the plunger won't work. So what I want to do today is I want to show you this doing two common modern day or today type plugs. We're going to use the Popoman drain cleaner, and I've got some old toilet paper, some stuff I used when I was doing entertainment, and we would wrap people up and make snowmen out of toilet paper. So we're gonna plug this stool bottom up with toilet paper, wet toilet paper. Then we're going to do it a second time with wet wipes. So these are the kind of wet wipes that you'd use, for a variety of different things. We're going to get these wet, and we're going to plug it up. I'm going to set these down for just a second. Now the toilet, this is very common on most toilets. I want to show you this a little bit, is how the waste comes out, and it kind of goes and there's a little bit of a trap in the toilet. And what happens is that there's two spots where it plugs. Generally, right in here is a common plug spot where it kind of plugs and sits here and it doesn't go through. Or you'll have it where it plugs down here where it goes into the floor, because that might be a constricted spot. So let's take a look on the bottom here where that little hole is. And right here is where it would go into our floor flange. We'd have our wax ring around. And this is where it would probably plug here, because there are little edges here that it might catch on. It's all nice and smooth, and then you get right here, and then it's not quite as smooth. And that's very common on really all stools. When you have situations where it's plugged because children have put Matchbox cars down, they have put Lego kits down, toothbrushes, these types of things, when they have gone down, there's no amount of plunging or anything that you're going to be able to do to get it out. So what you're going to need to do is literally take this off. If you can't reach into it to get it up in here, or hopefully take it apart and reach here, there are times where this becomes almost impossible to deal with if you've got something that's gotten in there and jammed in there and you can't get it out. Comb, a hair comb is another thing that can get in there. Sometimes using something like what we're going to be doing with Popoman can get in there and bend it, grip it, push it, do something with it. But if I have a foreign object in here, a shirt, sock, what have you, I'm going to take the stool off and do pretty much what you're going to see me do today, because I don't want that going into the sewage system. That's not cool. Toilet paper can go in. Wet wipes, if I have, hey Dad, the toilet's plugged. Oh, how'd you do that? Well, I decided to use wet wipes today instead of toilet paper. How many did you use? Oh, a dozen. That, I don't want that into the sewage system, so toilet is going to have to come off. If you need to take a toilet off to clean it out, make sure you get a new wax ring. You may want to get a new little addition to it. There's some certain ones out there. Let me show you one of them right here. This is the Danco Perfect Seal, and you may want to get into something like this if you have to go and replace or to redo that. And all that is a little device that will go and attach. It has the wax ring built into it. This bolts onto the floor, and then this will go and cover that part of it. So you have this, and it will scrunch down and flatten out, and your toilet will get seated and sealed, which is kind of a cool thing. So you might need to do something like that, but if you're going to ever take a toilet off, be prepared when you go to put it back on. You cannot reuse a wax ring. It just does not seal down the second time. So to give you an idea, all I'm going to do with this is just to basically run this in and then do its little augering and run it back out. The way that works is it will, just by pulling the trigger, it's going to go, in this case it's going clockwise. I can change direction by pushing that, and now it's counterclockwise. Clockwise would kind of dig into the gunk, counterclockwise would kind of push it, for lack of a better way to describe it. Then I can go and pull it back, and I can get some extension, and then I can go push it forward and bring it back in. So let's just do it without anything. And what I'm going to do is get it down here. I'm going to go so it will come through. And let's just run it through. Are we through yet? Nope, not yet. And I think we're through. So it kind of bound up a little bit and then it shot through. So obviously this is a 25-foot one. This would actually go down into the sewage lines if I could go a little farther than that. But right now, check this out, is this Popoman has set that little metal coil up and around and through and back down again. So it's made the journey. And I can back it out. And here we are. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that when you're using a powered device like this, you can't have too much gap between where it's going in and the device itself. I can't be having the hole that I'm going to be going into way out here because we will get too much wobble. So you want to make sure you're within a couple of inches so you don't get that wobbling going on between the device and the drain. Okay, so we've had some fun demonstrating that. Now we're going to make a plug. Let's get on that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some toilet paper, get it wet, and I'm going to fill that area. And it's going to be kind of messy, but that's okay. That way you can kind of see what it's going to do. Okay, we have a plugged toilet. Now, we're going to run this in, and I'm going to run it in, and I'm going to have it going clockwise, so it's going to kind of auger in and dig in. Let's make sure. Okay, let's run this in and see what we can do. Okay, it's working its way through. Okay, I can start to see my wad of toilet paper moving. Okay, so what it's done is it's kind of dug its way up and over it. So it's moved beyond the plug in this case. So let's reset this a little bit because it kind of pushed past it. Let's reset this and see what it does. So that time it must be hung up somewhere in there because it did not come through. Now the first time when it came through and it would have made a waterway, let's see where it went. Yeah, so it got caught on that lip right there, and it wasn't going to go anywhere because it got caught right there. The first time it came through and pumped and popped through, that would have allowed us to have water moving, and it might have allowed us to then plunge and get it going. So let's back this out and try. Let's try wet wipes and see if wet wipes, because once it had popped through, then I think between a flushing action and a plunging action, we would have been able to push this through because it had broken the seal. But let's do some wet wipe stuff next. So we're going to get some wet wipes. We're going to get them wet, and we're going to plug the toilet with them. Okay, that should be good. We should be plugged. Now let's run this in. Okay, so we popped through. So right now I have it going clockwise, so it would be digging in and grabbing something. It had popped through, so that might mean that we could again move some water and we might be able to plunge our way through it. Okay, so it came back. It did not grab anything from our wet wipe. We had pushed through a little bit, and it had kind of dug into it a little. Made it. You could see where it kind of went past some of the wet wipes. It had popped through. So again, it might be one of those things. In this case, if we knew it was wet wipes, we would take the toilet apart, and it would have been able to open it up, and maybe we could go from both ends and dig this out. Otherwise, if it were toilet paper, it would have allowed us a area where it would have taken the seal off, and then hopefully that after the seal is gone, that then we could go and plunge or what have you, move that down. Because traditionally, you go from this size, the next line, the next waste line is a little bit larger. You're getting into the 4-inch sewage line, which means that once you get it past this point, you can flush. You should be able to, with water, push, pop it out of here and push that wad of toilet paper down the line farther. But again, the big part is making sure that the kids and the family know that wet wipes, not a toilet thing. They're going to go in a garbage can and go that route. Clothing, anything, nothing goes down except toilet paper and waste. Like as you traditionally know. So diapers, none of that can go down your toilet because that causes problems. And if it's just a toilet paper and waste, it's going to be a little dirty, a little gross, yeah. But this will make it so that you're going to save the idea of having to call a plumber out to come and rotor-rooter your toilet or your shower stone. We'll put links in the description below so you can check out the Popoman drain cleaner and such. So it can be something that hopefully you have available so you and your neighbors can keep your plumbing functioning all year round.
For more tips and how-to videos, go to weekendhandyman.com.